one of the world's greatest guitarists, who's best known not for playing. He's best known for singing. That's George Benson. And on the September 7th, 1988 episode of A.M.Cleveland, host Scott Newall, a musician himself, does a deep interview going all the way back to Benson's days in Pittsburgh, when after being a preteen underage performer in illegal speakeasy kind of bars, he got a gig with Jack McDuff's Organ Quartet as a vocalist. And he learned how to play guitar. And he didn't just learn how to play guitar, he became a master on it, one of the best ever. And he ended up being signed to Creed Taylor's CTI Records, and that was the shit, man. I mean, he was up there. I mean, made such great jazz albums, and then made great pop records, starting with this Masquerade, a cover of the Leon Russell song. And Newell goes into his album with another guitar legend, Chet Atkins, and you can see Benson just glow in this interview. He appreciates speaking to someone who understands and knows what he's talking about. They also talk about Benson's own studios he built in Hawaii, both audio and video, and how he was worried at first of, I'm out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, who's going to come help pay the bills for building these things, and happy to report people enjoyed coming to Hawaii to record. It sounds horrible. So this is George Benson on the September 7th, 1988 broadcast of A.M. Cleveland on WKYC in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, that's the latest from one of the guys who's given us such great hits as This Masquerade and Give Me the Night and On Broadway. Oh, this guy is truly one of the best guitarists in the world. He's an excellent singer. He's got a new album out now called Twice the Love, and he's coming to Cleveland tonight to play at the Front Row Theater. Let's welcome George Benson. Good morning.
Morning, how you doing out there?
I'm terrific. You know, the last time you were here, I think, was with your friend, who is also a great guitarist, Earl Klugh. And in fact, you had gotten together on an album called Collaboration, which was an excellent piece of work. Yet people, I think, know you most for your vocal records. What is your true love of the two?
Well, I started off as a singer. When I was 10 years old, I made records long before I could master the guitar to any real degree. But as a teenager, I joined Jack McDuff's Organ Quartet and traveled the world and became known as a guitar player. So outside of Pittsburgh, my hometown, very few people knew that I even sang. And years later, when I had developed much respect as a jazz guitar player, I sang on an album called Breezin', which had the song This Masquerade, became Record of the Year, and of course that had a dynamic impact on my career. And since then, I've been dividing my career up between the two.
You and Earl Klugh took your music to Japan, I know, on a tour. How did the fans there react to you?
It is amazing to go to a foreign country and to be revered and respected as we were in Japan. It was a tremendous tour, and I think it did us both a world of good, and of course, they got all the money now. so it was fun.
A lot of yen. Twice the Love is the new album. What's it like?
Well, you know, if you're a guitar lover, you might be disappointed because I didn't devote this album to guitar, although there is some guitar pieces in the album. It's mostly vocal. It has some very wonderful compositions by some great people, and it's produced by 4 different production teams, which is an approach that a lot of record companies are taking today, hoping to get potential for more singles.
Yeah, so there's the advantage of working with a lot of different people. You get a lot of different sounds. I want to go back. It wasn't too long ago you produced an album with a 64-year-old guitar picker from Nashville by the name of Chet Atkins. That was an excellent, excellent album. How did you two get together? How did you decide to do an album with him?
I have always been a fan of that guitar picker, Chet Atkins, because first of all, he's so innovative. That style of picking that he created that became so popular that made him enviable by all other guitar players, I think. But in addition to that, he's a man who respects other guitar players, and he never ceases to heap praise upon you, you know, when you're in his presence, and he makes you feel good. So he's easy to work with, and I've always looked forward to doing it. And when we got the opportunity, I even wrote a song called Sunrise, which he fell in love with, and he played it like he wrote it.
And if you have not heard that album, I suggest you go out and buy it, because that is, I think, one of the best pieces of work I've ever heard, at least in guitar playing. Another big influence on your career is a guy whose style I know you played for a long time, Wes Montgomery. What did he mean to you?
Wes Montgomery was, he was the musician's musician, but also he was a man who appealed to persons who may not have known anything about music at all because of the simplicity of his approach. It didn't dampen his sophistication. It was just his way of doing things that made his music so attractive. Whenever I think about him, I think about a beautiful woman who other women may envy, but they respect her beauty because she's beautiful and she has all those qualities that people look for. That's the way I think about Wes Montgomery.
It's a very nice way to put it, and I know you have taken his style about 3 steps further, and you've done very interesting things with it. I want to ask you if you still have that house in Hawaii.
Oh, I certainly do, and I hope to go back and live in it some more. That was a great experience. I spent 4 years in Hawaii, and each day was like a week, you know, because time goes by so slow. They are not hurried by this modern world that we're in.
And the last time I think we spoke, this was a while ago, you were talking about you have a great interest in shooting your own video. How far have you taken that?
I have so much video equipment, and I have 2 recording studios and a video studio over in Maui, Hawaii, that's doing quite well right now. When I first invested a fortune into it, I thought it was going to be a total loss because, you know, there's not very much business right out there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But now we have people coming from Italy, from Japan. The top recording artists in Japan use my recording studio, and we've had some American groups come over, so we're doing very well right now.
Well, speaking of videos, you have a new one out, and in fact, it looks like, was it shot in Hawaii or was this California?
This was shot on the French Riviera.
Oh, wow.
You saw those palm trees and you thought it was California.
Yeah.
But we shipped in a lady from London, England, who was the leading lady in there. And one of the ladies was from my band. She's my percussionist and vocal singer. I mean, vocalist, I should say. And the rest of the girls were French girls. That was shot in Antibes, right on the Riviera.
Boy, it's good looking stuff. It really is.
Thank you.
Hey, when people come out to hear you tonight at the Front Row Theater, George, what are they going to hear? What kind of stuff?
Well, they're going to hear a little bit of everything. I think right now the band is as good as it's going to get. We have some tremendous, very versatile players, and whatever we play with conviction and with a lot of heart and a lot of funk to our music. But we also add that touch of jazz that I think we've become known for over the years.
Very enjoyable music. You have given us many years of it. You are a very talented musician, George. I appreciate that talent very much. I want to show your album one more time. The new one is called Twice the Love. It's on Warner Brothers Records, and I know that there'll be lots of people who'll be happy to see you out at the Front Row Theater tonight. Here's where people can get more information about that. Here's the ticket information. George Benson, thank you very much. We'll enjoy seeing you in Cleveland tonight.
Thank you.
And here's the ticket information. We'll be right back with more on A.M. Cleveland.